the two of us.
Hey,
I felt
we'll
I felt responsible to take some notes today. So.
Paul said he liked it, so maybe everyone else does. I don't know. No one's commenting. All right. So, Paul, since you haven't been on the show yet, we're gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna start the show. Melissa and Richard will introduce themselves, and I'll preface for you. Once you do your little intro, whatever you want to do, then we can get into matches.
All right.
Also, I'm the only one representing, so you know what?
I
Y'all don't
was
even
so
care.
close. I was wearing Champ's lunch earlier, but then I fucking got to stay on.
Missed opportunity.
It was. I was like, oh, throw it out. So instead, I'm wearing my Freddie Mercury Boston Red Sox, we're the champions shirt instead.
Well, I just say, like, your stand culture has transitioned for a while thanks to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes! I'm not alone anymore as much as I was. Oh, man.
So, Paul, where's your microphone? Like,
how
are you speaking into everything?
I'm just speaking directly to my iPad right now.
Okay. And Melissa, do you have anything? You have like a microphone or anything?
I have my computer.
Okay. Someone's getting a little bit staticky. It shouldn't be an issue, but it's just coming up every now and then.
Okay, I don't think it's me because I've got a...
because when you were gone, it was there.
All right.
Yeah. So just hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. So are you guys ready?
Hello, is it me? Hello.
Oh, it comes in wave. It's not a big deal. Are you guys ready?
Ready as I'm gonna be, I guess.
All right.
Always be closing.
Always be closing.
All right. Quiet.
Oh, my dog's barking. Hold on.
Oh, you're very crisp.
Okay, I think he's fine. If there's barking, there's barking.
Worst case scenario, you can just bring him in front of the camera.
Mine's safe asleep right here, but she might start barking.
There he is. There he is. Yep. Just go.
What kind of a dog do you have?
It's a Labradoodle.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
He hasn't barked all day until like this very moment.
I don't think he likes wild berries. Right.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, give me a second. What's up, assholes? Welcome back to the Call to Action podcast. I'm James.
Hey, it's Melissa.
It's your boy Richard.
There you go. And we have a new guest. I believe it was either last week or last episode. I'm sorry, or the week or whatever before. Aixa and Helene are stepping back either temporarily or full time. We don't know from the show. So we wanted to add new hosts, and one of the big faces of Action Army, as well as Richard, wanted to be with us. So how about you introduce yourself?
Paul Denuzio here. Me and Richard formed the hashtag 2 assholes of the Action Army, as we call ourselves. Oh, there's the slow clap.
Yep.
Glad to be here, guys. Glad to be here.
Awesome. You want to preface yourself, introduce whatever before we get started?
Let's get into it.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Because we missed so many weeks, we're going to cover the team finals first, and then the entirety of the singles tournaments. Hopefully this isn't terrible.
It can only go uphill from last time, so.
If we end up doing impressions, that's fine by me. So who's the boss versus the Harris brothers? One of the happiest moments in my Schmodown career, viewership, whatever. I'm just excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that match was amazing. I can't remember.
Just wonders from start to finish. Something we kind of needed, I think, is the Action Army. We've had a lot of, matches that have not gone our way or the
ups and downs.
This was kind of just from the beginning, straight on. This is what we want to see. Boom, boom, boom.
And how great was when they spun Tom Cruise?
I laughed out loud and just went,
I could hear Richard in the background doing his Tom Cruise impression. Yes, you're gonna fail. You're gonna die.
Die.
You have 6 seconds to get the question correct.
I think one of the questions, I can't remember if it was in the Tom Cruise category or it was in the third round. Not the third round, the final round. The breakfast cereal, Cocoa Puffs.
That was Tom Cruise, yeah.
Yeah, that fucking poll was, Jesus Christ. That was like off the charts. I don't know. That was a crazy poll.
I think it's like, because Ben is honestly just full of surprises. Because you hear him talk about, oh, puppy!
Yay, puppy.
Just keep going. Pay no attention.
Like, you hear him talk about on the show how he really loves some of these smaller movies. And I feel like A Few Good Men came up a couple times, but it's these deep pulls like this where we think, yes, this man will get us the belts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It seems like that's what it is. Sometimes I know Ben's a lot younger than I am, for example, so there's those 80s ones that he'll sometimes miss, and I'm like, you don't know that? I get disappointed. But then I'll pull something like that, I'm like, holy shit.
It's kind of matches like these that they're a little bit bittersweet for me because, like, I wish I could see Team Action. Like, I would like to see the comparison between how Team Action would have done, and Riley and Ben. Like, how much of a disparity is there? How much of a difference is there? Like, I don't know. It's just one of those matches where I was like, man, I wish it was Team Action because I think they would have won too, and I think they would have won pretty good too. But there's no way to know that. So, but yeah,
I agree. I do think the main difference between Team Action and Who's the Boss is that Riley being a little older, just like I just said, Riley being a little older fills that 80s, I don't want to say gap necessarily, but that older school knowledge that Ben might not have, that Drew is in the same age bracket. So Mark has that kind of old fill-ins there. Otherwise, though, I think they are actually not too far off as you would think. I think people still underrate Drew quite a bit. He's always takes a little longer sometimes to get there. That's been his issue. Sometimes he'll get it like after the time limit or whatnot, but
yeah,
I think it's pretty close either way.
I will have to have Melissa here though. Like, I think one of the most sour points, the more I think about it, they still would have won if Andrew was part of the team because they still would have missed scores and soundtracks. They still would have kicked ass with Tom Cruise. Yeah, speed round would have been bad, and they would have gotten to round 5, but they still would have won.
Right.
So
I think so.
Yeah, it is very
bittersweet.
So I think that's the right term to use.
Yeah, the only thing is Riley probably complements Ben a little bit better, but Drew has these obscure pulls that he's just able to get sort of out of nowhere. So
like child.
Drew has that being raised by a single mother and sisters pulls that Ben has no chance of getting, going to like Memento with his father. He's those rom-com gaps and stuff that he pulls nicely.
I think it just kind of perpetuates like this, like there's this myth here that like Ben has somehow like upgraded. You know what I mean? Like Riley's the partner that he can actually win with, and that there's some sort of like that he somehow went up in stature since getting Riley. And I think it should be the other way around. I think it should be that Riley is the one that has upgraded. Like, he's the one that got like really lucky by getting Ben as a partner, not that Ben is the one that's really lucky to have like a better partner. So I think a lot of people see it the wrong way, not the way that I personally see it.
As well, I think the big point of contention there is, like I was gonna say before you added on to it, I think it is like a pretty close thing because just flat out Andrew beat Riley in a match. And it is because of like he has the secret polls, he has categories which a lot of other competitors just aren't as strong with. Even the female competitors we see don't have as deep a pool of romances because they are just sort of in a community where a strong female point of view isn't really supported. But on the other hand, as we saw 2 weeks ago, whatever, Clark beat Ben. So I wouldn't even call it like an upgrade. It's just finding people who like gel better together. Because I think Wolves did get to a finals match with Patriots, but they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Team Action got to the Shire Wolves, and they lost. I think a big issue there is just the fact that they were paired with people who were too similar. And the fact that they are with, like, in terms of like movie knowledge, they are vastly different. And that's why they're doing so well. And that's one of the reasons why I, like, all bias aside, I think they have a very solid chance to beat the Shire Wolves in a week from now.
I do too.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have pre-formed teams versus the lottery picks. Because pre-formed teams, usually the people who team up are very similar to each other. That's just they're friends. They love the same movies, and usually their categories match, and they do complement each other, but less so when they get like thrown together. For example, Riley and Ben, who complement each other a little bit better, because I think horror and like soundtracks and stuff like that's where Riley is better. So that's why the lottery teams can be superior to the preformed ones.
I will say, I genuinely think in this alternate universe where Shire Wolves lost the title to Sick in the Head, and Andrew's filming schedule allowed for him to compete in the Schmodown, Rachel and Andrew would have been the strongest team in Schmodown history because of how vastly different their knowledge is.
Yeah,
that's quite possible.
That's very good.
Quite possible.
We've seen the videos and we've heard talks about how Fight Club studies. If Andrew had that intense training regimens, those two would be incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I think that I think apples to apples, perfect comparison. I think Who's the Boss is a stronger team than Shire Wolves, and I think they will win. The only thing is, like, there's intangibles, like what categories are on the wheel, how tailored to the competitors are the round 1 and round 3, and the buzzer questions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if something comes up where if there's like a lot of horror, like you said, I mean, it could swing the Shire Wolves' way, kind of like it did in the live match between Team Action and Shire Wolves. Like, Shire Wolves clearly had a more, and I'm not saying it's biased, but I'm saying they had a easier match than Team Action did to win. So I think if all things are equal, Who's the Boss will be the belt holders, but we'll see.
Yeah, Who's the Boss is definitely, if we had an Iron Man match, Who's the Boss I'm sure they would win by like 30%. I think they get 30% more questions. I'm pretty sure they're way better at their movie knowledge, but what comes to play is the game, the Schmodown. But Ben is one of the best players of the game, so I think it's a win-win in that sense.
And I entirely disagree. I do think it'd be extremely close because, and I won't spoil the Patreon match. The very first one we saw, where we saw all like the big name competitors, Roka, Bibiani, McWeenie, Rachel, and Levine. It was dead heat. Rachel is an amazing competitor.
No, Rachel knows her stuff. I gotta say,
Absolutely.
Rachel, I think out of the 4 of them, if I might be honest, I think Rachel might have the most pure knowledge of all of them, to be honest with you. She just seems to have a well-rounded, like in every category, she just knows quite a bit.
Yeah.
Whereas Ben and Clark and Mark have strengths better than Rachel has, but not as well-rounded.
Yeah.
Rachel doesn't have many holes, really, that I could say.
And that's why, like, I think this is what this tournament has showed me personally. Despite the fact that I still think there's got to be some like wheel trickery. Clark is a lot better competitor than I thought she was, because she's consistently getting like 6-7 points in round 1. She's going like 7 for 8, 8 for 8 in round 2, and round 3 she has been killing it.
Yeah, she's definitely the 16th or 17th best player in the league. I agree. Yeah, you're right.
At least.
Yeah, at least. So yeah.
I mean, to be fair, though, like if Okay.
Are we getting
wait.
in character here, or are we doing this?
Are we in character? I thought we were gonna like put on some glasses and laugh till our throats got shot.
Oh shit, we should have done that.
No.
we could always do the I'm not sure if you guys see it, but for the All the Belts podcast, and I think in one of their last episodes, as for Spectacular last year, they did it in team action style, basically like us, if we were like legitimately assholes. We could always do that where we turn into Roka fanboys.
You
So
know,
you want to be in character, we can just be like, 5 Horsemen, best faction of all time, two-time champ.
And also the funny thing, you always start the show with "What's up, assholes?" Like me and Paul's thing has been like we're calling ourselves the two assholes because there was this during AMA. Drew said something like they always shout us out, and he almost like got sick of it because all of our points were like always shouted out. It was like, all right, we always shout out you two assholes, but I got to do it again, and that's how it started. Every time you start the show saying two assholes, I'm always like, yeah, that's us.
I don't even know if Drew understands that. We've called it like when we gave them the gift for the drunk watch along. We signed the hashtag the two assholes. I don't even know if they understand where that came from. That
I'm not sure either, but we're sticking with it.
Understand it. Well, now that you mentioned like the actual asshole thing, I want to change it. So if we do that episode, it start with like, "Howdy, partner. We with the outlaw."
Oh, you're going Jackson Maine style.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to take another look at you.
I'm taking a look at you.
Hey. One last look at you.
I'm so alone.
I love that. I'm so alone.
Oh,
I just rewatched it recently.
Oh, Drew.
So
I think
we're going to go
move on to
Andrejko McQueen.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the matches that I remember least about.
Yeah, I don't remember a thing.
But I
remember
think
being sad because I wanted McQueen him.
Yeah, that was surprising.
That was very. Andrejko is very surprising. He has times where he lost to Makuga as Finn Draco, but yet then sometimes he'll come out and have like fucking these killer matches. I just don't know who you're gonna get.
He's fairly inconsistent, to be fair, and I'll fully admit I think McQueenie is a heavily overrated singles player to the point that if he's in a match, I don't think he's gonna win because while he does have incredible talent, he just doesn't hold up on his own. Because we saw with Above the Line and what was his and Brienne's team name?
Cannolis, Tate the Cannoli.
Yeah, Tate the Cannoli.
And like we saw, he killed it there. For some reason, on his own, he pulls a Bibiani and flops in the third round.
Yeah,
consistently.
Bibbs is never gonna be forgotten for that.
Yeah,
pulling a Bibiani. He's a champ. He was a champ. I'm sorry.
It was a one-time.
It was for 5 minutes, but he was a champ at some point.
He was a champ.
I love it.
I was gonna say the opposite about Andrejko. I kind of feel like he is more consistent than consistent, but I feel like he's consistently at like 88 to 90%. And sometimes that's enough to beat people, like in McQueenie's case, and sometimes it's not, in like the case where he lost to Bibbs. And I feel like he's never had like a perfect game, and he's never had like a terrible game, but like he's pretty consistent, and it's just whether that's enough to beat his opponent or not.
Well, so here's the actual stats for the match. They both had a 6-for-6 in round 1. In round 2, Andrejko went 8-for-8 with thrillers, and McQueenie went 7-for-8 for famous actors and actresses. Again, killing it. Round 3, it ends on 21-18. So Andrejko would have had to hit his 2 and his 5. And McQueenie either his 2 and his 3 or just his 5. Either way, that is an incredible amount of competition. But he consistently misses something in that round 3 that makes him lose.
Yeah.
And there was McQueenie, like Irwin. I love the fact that when they spin the wheel and when they like land on these sort of like, if it's a decade or famous actors and actresses, directors, they sort of just go, all right, yeah, I'll do it. They don't get phased by any category. And I freaking love that about the both of them. They're very similar in that sense. They're just, whatever category is thrown at them, they're like, I'm going to do it. All right. Even if they don't like it, you can tell that they feel like it's a challenge and they still want to go through that category.
Sorry, I just get lost staring at dogs. So I haven't seen Apollo 13 in close to a decade, but this is probably one of the hardest. It's not a fun movie.
Yeah.
But it's got my boy.
It's not a fun movie. Are you kidding me?
It's a great movie, but it's not fun.
I think I've only seen it once, and I can't see myself rewatching it.
Either way, the McWeenie's 5-point question, which is amazing, that I feel like if he got like any other one in this tournament, he might have gotten it. Question was, in Apollo 13, what was the flight surgeon concerned astronaut? Wait, in Apollo 13, what was the flight surgeon concerned astronaut Ken Mattingly would come down with, dashing his hopes of joining the mission?
It was a kind of a weirdly worded question.
What was the correct answer? I forgot.
I'm pulling it up, but it's still
you're a winner. I kind of heard it.
It's a deep pull. It's measles.
The measles.
Oh, measles.
That's right. Yeah.
He said cold, right?
Yeah.
I think he said cold.
Okay.
I think I would have said flu, probably.
Yeah, cold is just general enough that you might get it right.
Mm.
So, but again, when I say McWeenie is like overrated in singles, doesn't mean he's bad. He just gets consistently screwed over in the third round.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He's got more pure knowledge than almost anybody there, but it just manifests wrongly for him during singles for whatever reason. He's snake bit.
And like we'll get into it after the break, but you can say that. And then I think Andreyko had one of the easiest 5-pointers ever asked.
Yeah, to remind me about it. I don't remember that one, to be honest.
What was it?
That's the heavy Oscars bias, but I still feel like it's incredibly easy. But
wait, what was the question?
What's the only Studio Ghibli film to win Best Animated Feature?
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. That's all I really have to say. I honestly totally forget which matches have post-credit scenes or not.
Yeah, same here.
Pauly G is there, but I don't think he really does anything.
He hasn't done much of anything, just kind of look smarmy.
Yeah. He looks good in the suit, though.
Absolutely.
He's got like a devil's advocate, like red and black thing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian is teasing that the league is gonna like go really controversial and out there next season. Maybe it's sci-fi now. Maybe we're gonna go full like Masters of the Universe, Big Trouble in Little China.
I don't know what he's talking about. Like what it could possibly be that could be so different.
Yeah,
but I'm very intrigued, and we all are.
Maintain what got us there in the first place. You know what I mean?
I will say I will like.
That's a concern.
I'm totally expecting us to dedicate like half an hour to it next week, from how just bonkers it's gonna be.
It's kind of like if you go back to wrestling, it's like they had that balance. At first, back in the day, wrestling was all about the matches. Then it slowly became more about the behind the scenes stuff. To the point where, at its biggest, it was like 85% behind the scenes and only like 15% matches. There's a balance you kind of got to strike in the Schmodown, especially, I think. And we've already heard that from them. Some people. I mean, I love the behind the scenes stuff. I think it's funny as hell most of the time. But there's definitely a balance to strike, and some people have not responded as well to the behind the scenes stuff. That's why they pulled back so far for a long time. Well, that and budgetary concerns or whatever. But
and
I'm hoping they can have that balance.
I think actually me and Richard probably speculated it before. I think the only thing that we actually had an idea about was if they went like full Patreon, which wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think it's likely considering his statements.
Yeah, I thought that for a while too.
What do you mean if they go full Patreon? They kind
Like
of are
the matches
relying
are
on it.
only available to patrons.
Oh, okay. So put everything behind a paywall.
Yeah.
All right.
Or even
I
just
think
the entire
that could
series.
kill it, though. To be honest,
Yeah, that would definitely kill it.
Yeah. Like maybe the league would even just like patrons receive matches like a week early or something. All matches a week early. But I
that
think
could
Patriots have
happen.
something to do with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be something along those lines, probably, because they're really keep pushing the Patreon. So
But they
Yeah,
keep putting
and
out
it
amazing
kind of
content
makes sense
too.
why they do it also. So I kind of get mad about it, but at the same time, I totally understand that they want to take it further.
yeah,
So yeah.
I mean, they're obviously going in the right direction. I mean, and besides, Christian keeps asking for money, but I mean, we are getting a live event in New York now. There's talk about other live events. Whereas, like, it seemed like before the live event in New York was announced, it was almost like I just kind of got this feeling of, oh my God, we're about to close if we don't build up our Patreon soon. Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're going to New York now. Oh, we're going. So I mean, I don't know.
He's a little bit of a drama queen, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it could be.
Like,
It could be.
I'm not sure if you guys watch Collider Live, but everything, it's like,
I do.
Like, yeah, Roxy brought up like, oh, this guy has like some beef with me. It's like, don't talk about it. Save it for the show. He loves drama, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's like maybe exaggerating a bit, or even
Maybe.
just like maybe he's just taking it in like it's too much. When it's
Maybe
really,
it
like,
could be. That could be.
Yeah. So here, let's move on to the next match.
Okay.
Irwin and Ellison.
Yep. One
I like
of
this
the
one.
more underrated matches
Yeah,
of
I
the
like this
tournament in
one.
the year overall.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely one of the more underrated, and
Yeah.
one of as I said before, this match was going to be break or make for Chance, because
I
think he
everyone
made
was
it.
saying overrated.
Yeah.
He had made a name for himself in the fan leagues, so this was the match for him to prove himself.
And he did a good job with it. He improved himself even with the loss.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And again, just for a quick points breakdown before we start. First round, it was 6-5 in favor of Irwin. Each competitor had a perfect round 2 in Spy Movies and Pixar, respectively. And actually, let me do my math here really quick. I believe they each hit their 3-pointer and nothing else. 14-5. That would be no. They each hit a 5-pointer. So I think what happened was Ellison got his 2 and 3, missed his 5, and then Irwin missed his 2 and 3, hit his 5. Either way,
Makes sense.
that was an incredible match.
Yeah, that's why I like to watch Schmoedown right there, is that kind of match.
Yeah. And of course, like, I think this tournament in general was heavily lacking big personalities and heels because they all went out in that first round in the qualifying match. So thank God for Chance Ellison getting as far as he did. I wish things were different. I'm not sure if he would have gotten to the finals like Irwin did, but no, this man is dangerous.
He is. He absolutely is.
He's the future. I think he's going to go far. And also, I really like his intro music. The Dark Knight Rises.
That is top 5.
It works so well. Like, I think it was Corruption who had the Fallout trailer song, right?
Just Kalinowski.
Oh, just Kalinowski. Yeah, both of them, their intro musics have been fire. But there's just one thing I want to address is Ethan Irwin being managed by Jay Washington. I feel like that's a mismatch.
I agree.
I mean, I'm very happy to see Jay have a competitor who is doing well, but every time Washington, Jay is like talking about him, Irwin is just looking at him. What are you saying? It doesn't work. There's no chemistry.
I've never had someone who's won. I see this with all the love in the world for Jay and the Viper Squad and the Misfits before that, but the closest any of his competitors have gotten is Brienne, Stacy, and Janine getting to a chance for a number 1 contender shot. Not even a number 1 contender match. A chance.
Let's be clear here. Jay did not manage Erwin into anything. Like, Jay just shows up and he was gifted Erwin. Let's be clear. Jay has 0% to do with this win.
Jay has made Erwin's entrances more theatrical. Now he spins when he comes out of the curtain.
Okay, 1% does he have to do with Erwin's career? I'll have more to say later. I will definitely have more to say.
I'm just happy for him because I like seeing Jay happy and not threatening to kill Jen Sturger or Thad or whoever else. Seeing that man happy is great, especially after all the effort he put into early in the season, working with Janine right after surgery, dealing with Brienne just leaving for Kalinowski, wherever that's going.
Yeah.
And then Stacy, who's just consistently, she's inconsistent, but she's still like an amazing and underrated player, and just ups and downs constantly. He needs this. He deserves this.
He does.
Okay, but Erwin didn't even know that there was 5 rounds to his match, which you think would be the job of his manager to make him aware.
I forget it too. Every single time.
Okay. But later I will have more to say about this.
Oh, man.
Hey, Jay makes up for lack of managing in a great theme song.
There you go. Jay's got character. I love Jay. He's a great guy.
Yeah. We also can't get very well, though.
No.
And he was an AMA also. He was pretty cool on there.
How do you miss Swamp Thing? Like, I rewatched the Manager's Bowl like a few weeks ago. How do you miss that? I don't even read comics and I knew the answer. I didn't even knew it was a movie and I knew the answer.
Oh,
I
man.
think Ricky could have stolen it.
I don't want to move on to the next match.
Oh, okay, wait. I know what to do. Just keep vamping.
Keep vamping.
Yeah.
The next match, huh? Oh, man.
So, do we need to?
Wait, there's the hat. Oh, here you go. Wait. There's the hat. Take it off. God. One of the most tragic things to ever happen in this Schmoedown.
Awful.
So there's a lot to go over for this match.
I don't remember the match because I was just so disheartened after watching it. It was just, oh great, Clark spun horror again.
Yep.
Get ready to get the violins ready.
Yeah, the wheel is her best friend. Always has been.
Every time she spins horror, I keep thinking it's going to be like when Riley got scores and soundtracks and completely
I keep hoping for the same thing.
Exactly. I'm like, one of these days she's going to get horror and it's going to be like, it's just going to be a bunch of questions she's just not good with. And it never happens. I'm like, wasn't
her 5-pointer also a horror movie?
I don't remember.
Clark's 5-pointer, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Thriller. It was the Dustin Hoffman.
Close enough.
I remember.
Same thing. Yep. Clark up in the first round by 6-5. Spun horror. She got 7 for 8, which is nice. Oh, so Ben got Brad Pitt.
Did well.
Yeah. I knew he had to stick with it. I was
he went a perfect skating Brad Pitt.
Not a category often tipped, so I was happy that he stuck with it because it's that.
Exactly.
When you get to a new category, it's going to be those surface level questions. That
Melissa was mad at this match.
Why,
Melissa?
Yes, is it because of his 3-point question?
Yep.
You mean Bangarang?
Bangarang!
Oh, Bangarang.
I mean, like, I forgive him for that because, like, I know it's just like it's just one of those things that just didn't come to him. Like,
Yeah.
but it was just like, just watching him, like, I was like, oh, he doesn't have it. I could just tell he didn't have it. I was just like, oh, he doesn't have it. And there's just no way he's going to come up with it. I was just like, oh, it was just like so disheartening, just like watching it. It was like watching a train wreck. It was just like, come on, come up with it. But it just was not to happen.
You want a train wreck? I'm watching the match right now, and the second she gets Thriller, she leans over to the mic. She's ready to speak the answer. She knows she's gonna win this.
I fucking hate when she does it. I'm sorry.
Watching it made my heart just drop, even though I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like It reminds me of Top 10 versus Action 1.
5 was a hard question, too. Or I thought it was hard.
It really
was one I really knew. So I thought it actually stumped her at the very beginning. Then she did that whole position thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, I would have been all on Ben's side if he just walked out at that point. Because she spun horror, and she got Thriller for a 5-pointer. And she just answered it so cockily.
With
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Cocking.
And it's not a bad thing. I just don't want to sit next to that.
At least Ben has the class to pretend like he doesn't know it and give people a little bit of hope before he shuts the door in their face.
Well, so
enjoyable when he does it.
And he gave the answer and just like, and you're a winner. It's like, yeah, whatever, got it.
The Debo answer, the childhood bully something.
And
he was like, I was sure he didn't know that one.
Well, in our little group chat, apparently everyone knows it, that it was an easy answer.
Wow.
I haven't seen Friday, so I would never know.
Yeah, me neither.
Hot to watch Friday.
Haven't seen it either.
I watched it once way back in the day. I remember one thing about it, and that's Chris Tucker saying, "You got knocked the fuck out."
Again, the only thing I know is like the whole meme was just like, damn. Yeah. That's it. Everything else is just like.
How do you feel about the fact that Ben was told by Christian to warn Clark ahead of the match that he's gonna go full heel and that she should be prepared that he's going to be taking shots?
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, that was just honestly a really weird day for me, so I didn't get to finish that sort of Patreon bit. But I mean, no one else got that warning. I mean, he murdered Bibiani. I think after that, he's just like, can you just like be a little nicer? Because
I don't know why they wouldn't have told that for any other competitor.
No,
competitors
absolutely not.
If you're a competitor in the league, and you're going up against Ben Bateman, or you're going up against Andrew Guy, or going up against any of the heels, prepare to get slaughtered. Like, they're characters. They're not meaning anything. They're actually actors, and they're trying to get in your head. You got to be prepared for that. That's part of the game.
Well, and on top of that, this hasn't really like hurt anyone. I think the only reason they would have done that because like you've seen in the comment sections of videos how Shire Wolves are so inspiring and having a female champion is amazing. I think it was honestly just pushing for that like double belt holder narrative.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was also because Clark, as Ben said in the Patreon video, that Clark was expecting to lose, and I think we all were expecting her to lose that match. And also Christian, that's why I think he told Ben to tell her so that when she loses, Ben wouldn't like rub it in that much. But there you go.
Everyone on the Facebook page expected her to win, and again, she's a great competitor. But it's not as like it should be more even. Whereas I think it was like a 60-40, not even 60-40, like 70-30 split in favor of her.
That's weird.
Even though Ben is gonna win a belt.
I was so sure that Ben was gonna win.
Yeah,
he was on a roll, and Clark hadn't played for a while.
Wait, guys, when Ben wins a spectacular, Patreon section, he's gonna have the belt with Andrew. I just realized that. Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing.
Oh yes.
Like, is this? Oh, we found it, and then just cut. It's gonna be so sad because if Ben has to warn her again at Spectacular, I'm just gonna be really upset because after that match, after she got the win, basically handed to her on a silver platter, I want him to go all out. I think he's got to be ready to just no. I've seen competitors shaking their boots. You haven't, but you will. I need that attitude from him.
Yeah.
I just don't think anyone has the balls to do that to the Shire Wolves. I just don't think they do.
Wild berries,
Well,
I'll fight
you
them.
do. But I can't see anyone else. I don't know. I just don't think anyone will do it. If Ben does, I will be pleasantly surprised. If Ben comes out and goes like full heel, like he does against Roka, like he did against Bibiani, I will be clapping because it'll be so awesome. I just don't think he'll do it.
No, he won't, because the problem is there's two levels here. Because Ben, not the boss, is a genuinely nice guy. Likes these people, likes Clark, likes Rachel, sees the issues that Rachel has with the fans, and sees the whole idea that Rachel gets affected by this. And I think he'll have this war with himself. He'll want the belt, but he'll feel bad about doing it to a degree. Whereas he wouldn't feel bad about doing it to Roka. He'll go fucking Roka. He'll fuck Roka up, and he'll fuck Bibiani up. He doesn't give a fuck. It's kind of one of those things where they get it and it's good. But with Rachel, she seems to take this stuff to heart, and Ben's too nice. Andrew. I love Drew, but he's a little more fiery.
He's on Andrew, man, not here. We will kick you out.
He's definitely the wild card.
I love Drew. I think he's a little more fiery. He might.
I think Ben has addressed this before, though. He said, like in Patreon, they are wonderful people. He doesn't know them that well, but he thinks they're really nice and would like to talk to them more. I have to disagree with you because he knows the game is a game. I think against Janine was the only time I've ever heard him like actually like falter and tell someone like, "We're not friends here. I'm going to be the boss. I am going to be an asshole, and I'm sorry." Other than that, I don't think he's ever actually stepped out of the way. And that's because Janine is such an Action Army person. She is a genuine, amazing fan. I don't see him doing anything different with Clark and Rachel because he has his eyes on the belt. And Clark just killed him in a way that just frankly sucks.
I hope you're right. But in the back of my mind, I have that.
I think you're right, Paul. Sorry. I think Paul is correct.
And it's too late to even
prove us wrong, Ben. Prove us wrong.
The only thing that I could change my mind about it is that Ben does have Riley by his side to be the apologizer. So Ben might not feel so bad if he can like hit and then have Riley go, we're sorry kind of thing.
No, but Riley doesn't do that anymore. I kind of like it. He's growing into that heel slowly.
Yeah.
Well, like, I really genuinely hope that Andrew was at the recording because nothing would make me happier than if Andrew walked out with Who's the Boss.
Me too. Because that would just throw everything into a loop anyway, I think. That would just take them right out of the game because it'd all be about the spectacle, which is fits Ben and Drew and Mark to a T at this point.
Because Finstock is the manager. Whatever, that's fine. But I think Andrew, can be a manager. I want him strictly as a hype man. I need this man like just ripping his shirt off, putting another one on, and ripping it back off, running around the studio, being like a Josh McCouga, but a mean version of him. Absolute insanity. That would throw them off their game so much in the best way possible.
And Ben would be ready to be able to roll right with it. So I think that'd be perfect.
And also, I hope that we'll get some Drew shouts from the crowd when stuff gets heated, because he always does it. It's barely audible, but you can
tell it's him.
You can tell it's him. Yeah, 'cause he'll just go nuts from the crowd. It's so funny.
I am just so excited for Spectacular the more we talk about it, because just imagining Andrew a winner, who's the boss, and Andrew just running out, tackling Ben with and just freaking out.
That would be sweet.
A year and a half of investment. I am ready for this. I am so excited.
I will say, okay. I think it was you, Richard, who mentioned like Ben saying that Clark was like the 14th or 15th best player in the league, which I thought was hilarious. I laughed my head off at that. But at the same time, like, I started really thinking about it. And if you think of every player that's ever played in any of the leagues, and you start like putting them like out there, I mean, it really does like add up. Like, I don't know if she's 14th, but like, I think I thought of at least like 10 before I would put her on the list. So I was like, it's not even that far off. Like, it's not even that.
I mean,
yeah, you're so spot on. That's why it's so funny and enjoyable, because it's sort of true. It's not even a shot. It's like he's stating a fact. He's doing it from the cover of being a heel, but he's actually saying what it is. That's why it works so well.
So, no, Melissa, answer me this. Only one competitor has ever come back from a 6-point deficit. Do you know who that man is? Cody freaking Miller, the Olympian. Where does he rank? He beat JTE. Where does he rank?
He's undefeated.
Exactly. Only one of the competitors undefeated. That's Mark Knopfler. Cody Miller is top 5 players of all time. That's right.
USA.
Wow, Barry. How we move on back to Depressiville with the next match?
Do we even need to? That match was sort of.
I mean, we'll probably spend more time talking about that match than it took to record. So, and it pisses me off because next match, Dan versus Stacy. Dan was 100% in this match. He goes to Irwin.
Oh yeah,
he's like 60. Why could you do that then? I want Stacy to win matches.
Yeah, Stacy just I feel bad for her. She makes these great matches, and you think she's finally like, oh, she's pulling it together and making a run for it. I mean, she had the knowledge, but like she surprises you with how much she knows sometimes. And then there's Dan Murrell. Oh.
Yeah, we all want to see the good old Dan, the way he was when he was the unbeaten.
I don't. I want the goat to be led to the slaughter.
And it's weird because Dan isn't his personality doesn't have much flair to him. He's sort of just there, and he's a cool guy, but he doesn't stand out as far as his Schmoedown personality goes. I feel like he's just him. But I still want him to win. I want him to get back, and all the fans do as well. I'm sort of wondering what is the X factor for him.
Traitor.
I think honestly the problem is I don't want to say he doesn't care anymore, but he did what he needed to do. He was the best of all time for a while. What does he have to prove? Now it's more kind of like, I almost feel like Christian asked him to come back. He's kind of like, all right, I'll come back. I don't know if his heart is as in it as it was before. Well, that's the way I kind of see it.
I think the narrative they were wanting to go for is like he beats Andrew, he beats Riley or whoever, he challenges Roka for the belt. That's probably what they wanted. They wanted him to go out. Yeah, no, like Murrow versus Roka at Spectacular. Murrow would lose, probably maybe step down, be like, I was here, it was fun, I worked hard. I'm not the greatest anymore. And they'd be like, but Roka is, even though he's absolutely not.
No.
And they probably just want to push that Horseman narrative, and I wouldn't be surprised at that. Now that he's, not winning, they don't know what to do.
It's the Horseman curse, man.
Well, Dan versus Stacy really felt like, okay, Dan's back. And then, he kind of went back to mediocre after that. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Sad.
But Murrow had maybe one of the best lines of the season. It's like, I'm glad you invited me to I'm glad I could speak at your interview, Roka. Something like that.
that interview is hilarious.
That was probably my favorite. Where Mara walked through?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I love that part. Not bad. What did she say?
Wait, no. Oh no, I forget the other one. When Mara walks on and she's like, "You did good."
Yeah, that's the one.
I like her.
Yeah. Amazing.
They're my favorite.
So yeah, I think this match kind of wraps itself up, no?
Yeah, it was not much to talk about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we could talk about, okay, what was Stacy's? Because Stacy's entrances; those are her like.
Yeah,
That was an amazing outfit.
What was it? I can't remember.
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah. And she went ahead and did the like whiteboard with it. Like props to her for doing the whiteboard with the Scissorhands on. That was pretty impressive.
Well, it's like because you know how mostly Janine is pushing Jay for Manager of the Year because of the dedication he puts into his team. I want to push Stacy as like maybe not top 5 but top 10 players of the year because of that dedication. Because of how much effort she puts in the Schmoedown, even though she's not a great competitor. Or doesn't really reflect on her record.
I actually can't disagree with that because it's the same things that I push when I've been pushing Drew, because like a lot of times I had that war during the summer about who's better. And I was like Drew versus Kalinowski, and like, well, Drew made his own storyline. He might not have been as good necessarily in trivia comparatively. I mean, yes, he beat Merle, he beat Riley, but with Drew, it's all about the commitment to the character, and he's the best character we have in the Schmoedown. But that kind of gets taken down by people like, oh, I don't care about the character, I just care about the trivia.
Well, not to mention, like, in the actual, so I highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen it yet, look for the Heel of the Year poll on the page.
Yes.
I want the live coverage of it. No question, Andrew Guy is Heel of the Year, because you can see in his responses how perfectly crafted everything is to tearing down everyone else.
Yep.
Right? You start pushing Kalinowski. Yes, he's great in front of the camera. He starts peppering in those things, and Andrew's like, "Oh no, sorry, you don't matter." And he starts listing things, and Mike's like, "No, about that." He's like, "No, you are a worm underneath my boot or something." Andrew Guy has nailed the character.
What I loved is when he in that same thread, he tells Chance not to tag competitors.
Again, it's little things like
brilliant, subtle dig.
Like you can say whatever you want about Sam Levine being a double belt holder, Clark Wolf nearly having a singles belts and having the team's belts, or even just Roka doing all right, even though it's one of the biggest defeats in a championship match ever. But then there's Andrew Guy. His record doesn't reflect his skill. But at the same time, look at who he's defeated and the character he's created.
Right.
Because Team Mashal was amazing last year. But they're even better now because of the characters that they've created. Ben didn't have time to shine last year. He faced Bill the Dude. That's it. Oh, no, that was this year. Who did he face last year?
Was Ben only in the was that only in the five-way match?
Qualifier, yeah.
I missed Bill the Dude.
No, you don't. But it's sort of the idea of like they've created amazing characters, and Andrew is the one who pushes it. Because
absolutely,
even though they like joke about it or something, Andrew puts more effort into his character than his competition. Because of that actually helps them play. It intimidates other competitors. It makes them play worse. It makes them more excited. It makes them play better. Like best.
I think that's an underrated aspect of the game too. I mean, when Drew faced Merle and Riley, you're telling me his antic didn't get in their heads? He completely got in their heads.
Merle admitted it. Camera in his face. He complained to Christian about it. Him jumping on the desk and screaming. Merle complained about it to Christian. He got in his head perfectly.
Like the picture with Riley at the end there. That whole let me take this picture. That was so. And I got caught actually looking at the camera, and I gotta answer this question. Brilliant!
God. I think it speaks to Drew's acting chops. Mm-hmm. But the reason he's such a good heel is because he's convincing and natural at it. Even though he's like, obviously he's a great guy, and we know he is a great guy, but like when he's a heel, he seems completely convincing and natural versus like some of the other like heels who you can tell they're like playing a part and it's like so completely obvious. Whereas Drew, like it's kind of seamless how well he portrays it. It's not like he's like faking it.
Yeah, Kalinowski, exactly. Example.
Exactly.
Because Kalinowski is completely white bread. He's a nice guy. A very nice guy. His character's a nice guy. His character was a nice guy.
Christmas.
His personality's a nice guy. So when he tries to do the heel thing, he doesn't do bad, but he's given the storyline. He can do the job.
Yeah.
But Andrew, not only is Andrew a nice guy, but he's kind of playful and he's kind of cocky. Like he has this joke cockiness about his real life character. So all he has to do is just like turn that just a bit and cut out the joking part of it, and then he's freaking gold.
Again, no, but you're talking about people who just fit the role. Jeff Snyder, you almost buy he's a total asshole who thinks he controls the world.
Right.
Balls is like,
you're
no.
Great actor. Yeah. Great actor, Jeff. Yeah.
I love Jeff.
And on that note,
I miss the Patriots.
Commercial break. After it, we'll be discussing the later matches in the tournament. Catch you on the flip side. Awesome. Great. 5-minute break. Y'all can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm going to dedicate something on the tree to you guys.
What? Is it Tom Cruise?
If you don't put something on your tree, you're going to die.
What is it, Melissa?
Can you hear it?
Very vaguely.
Yeah, very vaguely.
Oh.
Nah.
I have others up there, but that's the closest one.
Eighth.
Nine.
Nah. Collider Live is the best.
I think Collider Live is like the millennial version of Howard Stern, and I love it.
So good.
Collider Live is actually like the way that the Schmoes No show was when I started watching the Schmoes No show. Like it was like Collider Live is now. I'm like really happy it kind of went back to that format.
Roxy is a treasure on that show.
God, oh God, I hate doing like inside baseball gossip stuff, but
do it.
It really sucks because I keep wanting to be like, oh really, I really hope Ben and her are happy, and it's like
no, they're broken up. They broke up.
Are they?
So,
like
yeah.
I wasn't sure like where things.
Yeah, they moved apart and they broke up. It was discussed on one-on-one with Christian Harlow.
Okay, I haven't.
They are officially over for now.
Now,
it's not a secret.
Well, Roxy is still
great.
holding the. Roxy is definitely still holding the flame, though. You can tell.
Definitely.
But
see, she was on Riley's roundtable or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, her and Ben's relationship give me so much hope. Oh, that's great. No, never mind.
Well, isn't amicable because she wants like an actual like family and stuff later in life, and Ben's just like, I don't know.
Right.
I think that's kind of what I was around.
Yeah, and that was kind of why like it gave me so much hope. Was I was just like, well, okay, like
I got the sense that
like,
could get back together.
Have it figured out. Yeah, but if they moved out, I mean that's pretty because they've always lived together. Like even when they've been kind of on and off, they've continued living together. So if they've moved apart, that's a little sad.
But I kind of got the sense that like Ben wants a little more freedom at the time, kind of thing. I think Ben needs to get out, take like even like it could be a couple of years, kind of thing, just kind of like do his thing, and then they can reconvene later on when they're at the same spot, so to speak. Because I do think they both still have a solid caring for each other. They still talk to each other all the time. They're still like doing a lot of things together and everything. So I mean, who knows exactly? But I just kind of got this. This is a gut feeling that I think they could reconvene at some point.
I do hope so.
That's what she hopes also. That's what Roxy talked about extensively on the one-on-one.
Right, yeah, part of it, yeah.
So, I mean, Ben talking about like putting out the album next year, or not even album, just working on music. And he's
so
working
cool.
a lot more on his own time with Magic and interviews and such. He might just need some time to himself in his career before he like starts thinking seriously about relationships, if he even wants to have serious relationships.
We got to get him in one-on-one with Christian.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I love Ben, obviously, but like part of that kind of like annoyed me because I feel like there's like only because I can like see my like me and Roxy are like very like simpatico, but like I feel like there are very few women that would have been as cool with his like wishy-washiness as Roxy. Like most women would have been like, okay, bye. Like the first like a year and a half ago, but like she's like really like given him like a lot of freedom to figure out what he wants that like a lot of women just wouldn't. So I'm a little annoyed with Ben with that, but you know, hopefully they get it worked out.
I love the guy, but I feel like Ben, get your shit together. You're not going to find anyone like Roxy.
Yeah,
I got the feeling that Ben is. I love Ben. I think Ben's a little immature at this point still when it comes to things. As far as relationships go.
That's just like your opinion, man.
What was that?
That was a Collider Live reference.
Okay. I do. I just think he's like not.
It's a Big Lebowski reference.
But
you guys ready?
Sure.
Yep.
Hey,
what do we have left?
If we ever want to do the whole like Maury, who's the father with Andrew and Roka, we can always just have like a little pre-dedicated segment where it's just Roxy and Ben fighting. It'll be the undercard of the Maury episode.
Oh, real quick, the funny thing was I forgot when the drunk watch-along thing happened. Richard and I kind of have a story about that. We were trying to figure out how to get the stuff to Ben and Drew or gifts or whatever, and I reached out to Roxy as one of the people as like possibly getting the stuff to Ben. And it was the next day in Collider Live when they started talking about having problems. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And she was so accommodating. She was like, I want to help. I want to do everything.
She was.
You're like, oh my God,
I
feel
sent
so
a
bad
message
for her.
later. I sent a message right after, like, you know what? I just saw Collider Live. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
That kind of makes it even worse, you know. I mean, I know where you're coming from because you're trying to be like so accommodating and everything, but it sort of like acknowledges the problem, which
I know
you had in the first place, you know.
I was like, I'm fucked either way at this point. I might as well just go all in.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, she was cool about it. So
yeah. No, she like I'm not sure how much you guys see it, but like because of the whole call to action Twitter page, I follow so few people, I keep getting notified, so I see like literally every single one of her tweets. And her Instagram is always like one of the first things that shows up for me, and it's just like seeing all the things that she does and talks to her friends and stuff. She's an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah,
I think she has too big of a heart, honestly. It sucks. You can do.
It's just amazing after the life that she has growing up there.
Yeah.
She was kind of a tough.
You guys, you have to watch the one-on-one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Her life has been crazy.
I was talking to Paul about this. I'm doing 8-hour work days of hard labor so I can just get a bunch of podcasting. I might binge one-on-one at Riley Roundtable.
That'd be a good one to do.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have? The first one is Merle Irwin, right?
Yep. All right. Silence. And we're back from the break. First match, we are seeing the decimation of the former GOAT. Melissa, would you like to start for us?
Okay. I'm not sure what that was. I'll just go. Oh, okay. That's we're done.
Happy birthday.
So,
wow.
Anyway,
we're just getting hot over there.
No, not even no. So like we had mentioned, like Dan versus Stacy kind of seemed like it was the return of Dan Murrell, like, or his return to form. And then like this was another match where it was just like, I mean, he did well, but he didn't do like, it wasn't like Dan the way that we remember him. No, he was.
So.
Yeah. Now I'm not going to talk about the match. I'll let you guys talk about the match. I'm going to give my rant on Jay Washington because now is the time to do so.
Do it.
Do you have James? Do you have a question?
He's playing all right. He had a 60% accuracy rate. 5 in the first round, 5 in the second round, and 2 in the third round where he got a TKO. Dan Murrell got TKO'd. You want to tell me he played a good game?
TKOs are common, though.
I mean, it wasn't like...
Murrell, only one of the man has got that, and he's the GOAT with an H because he's better. He's 1 H better.
Anyway,
right, you got a point.
My sass is over. You can continue now.
So here's my Jay Washington rant because I know you guys are fans of Jay Washington. I am less so fan of Jay Washington. I feel like this.
Boo.
Okay, you can boo me. Okay, fine. Here's my thing. Jay Washington, as usual, as always, is about Jay Washington. Like, he always makes it about himself. Like, I can understand, like, the storyline being that he's turning over a new leaf. I can get that, and I can get behind the storyline that he's turning over a big leaf. But when he goes, like, so completely over the top about it, and, like, he's squeaking, and he's, like, crying, fake crying, and just, like, can't even speak. He's acting so ridiculous. Like when he goes over the top like that, he overshadows his own players. Like he makes it about himself, and it drives me crazy. So like,
like when he was
Jay Washington
about Irwin, he said always I, me. Like he got Irwin. He didn't talk about Irwin. Yes. He talked about himself.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. And I kind of feel like even Jay, when he's like mean Jay, and now that he's turnover Leaf Jay, either way, he's about himself. He's always about himself. So like when people are talking about like, and I don't know if this was the match, I can't remember if this was the match or if there was a match before it, or like they called him out on like, I'm so happy for Jay Washington to get this win because, I mean, like, he's making it about himself. And, like I said before, Jay Washington did nothing to get this win. He was gifted it. He did nothing. So, like, I don't feel that happy for him. So, that's my rant on Jay Washington. And this you can apply to any further matches where he acts the same way and behaves the same way and makes it about himself the same way. So, okay, you guys can talk about the match.
Yeah, before you take her down, I'm going to say that I'm probably in your camp as well. Not as much because I think Jay is the biggest sweetheart. He's a really cool dude, but he's Schmoedown persona. Yeah, I agree. He makes it about himself, and him and Irwin, they don't mesh at all, I feel like.
Well, I would agree with that. I don't think him and Irwin mesh very well. I would agree with you on that. Okay, your antiperspirant is working.
Playing devil's advocate here, wearing the Pauly G red and black suit and tux, suit and jacket, whatever. I think he has the right to do it because Irwin isn't a big personality. Him talking about the match is going to be very brief. We've seen that before, where it's just like, yeah, I won. I played good. I mean, great competitors. He doesn't have that bravado where it necessitates long and very kayfabe heavy talks after a match. That's what Jay is for. And to an extent, that's why Rocha is there. Because he has kayfabe, he has a character. Whether we like it or not, whether it's even different from him, he still has a character. Irwin doesn't really have one. He just plays to play.
I don't agree. And I think Christian has mentioned it also. Okay, I agree. I agree that Irwin, he's toned down, but I feel like he's opening up more and more as he goes. And Christian has said time and time again that Irwin is a really cool dude. He just needs time to get into it. And he's like, the way he comes out, he has this. I think I mentioned this in the last episode as well, that he has the producer sort of alter ego that, and I think it kind of works that he's sort of a bit toned down, but still cocky. And whenever he gets a category, he's like, well, I'll take it. I think it works. I think it's a fine line, and I think he runs it well.
He reminds me of like.
And you know why he's coming out of the shell? Jay Washington.
No,
he is helping him.
Not.
He's helping him not. With an entrance.
He's not. No, he's not. See, Irwin reminds me of like Dan in the sense that like they don't really have a personality. Like their personality is just they're too cool. They're too cool, but like they're just kind of like blasé about like whether they win or whether they lose or whatever. They're just kind of like too cool for it. And I think they have very similar personalities that way. If Irwin is coming out of his shell, it has zero to do with Jay Washington. 1%. I gave you 1% before. That's all. That's as high as I go.
I'm in between you guys. No, James, I totally agree that Washington, his personality is good for somebody. I just don't disagree. I just don't agree that.
Quick little insert here. I am hosting the call, so I can just drop it and silence your inferior opinion. So please continue.
Anyway, so Washington, I think he needs somebody. He could do great for somebody in the league. I'm not sure who yet, but Irwin and him just didn't seem to have the right chemistry. Irwin, I agree that Aaron's kind of developing his own slowly but surely. But Jay and like Ken Knapsack's the other good one. They both have that wrestling background, so I have no doubts that they can build up somebody completely. It's just not Irwin's not the right kind of guy.
I agree.
Now, who else could they do? I mean, I'm not sure who else they could.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Also, who would I put instead of Jay, and who would I have Jay manage on top of who he already has? But if I'd like, I would even put Ken Knapsack with Irwin. I think that would even be an upgrade.
That's a big disagreement.
That might work well.
I don't think, because Ken has a narrative that he pushes. Irwin doesn't do that.
I think I would go with Roxy, because Roxy did like such a good job with Snyder and Andreyko. Like, she was like a very calming influence and very good about that. I feel like she would be good with Irwin, because she would be like positive force to pump him up, but not like so over the top, like cough cough Jay Washington, that like he completely loses his personality. Okay.
I really like that. I really like pairing Roxy with Irwin. I think that will work very well. And Roxy has said also on Collider Live that she wants more to do with the Schmoedown. She doesn't want to. She doesn't. Can I come? She doesn't want to compete. They're pushing for her. She doesn't want to, but I feel like she should have way more on her hands as a manager. And I don't think that Jay and Irwin are going to last. I think that's going to break up. What
about Washington and Snyder?
Oh God, they would fight.
I think I kind of want to see that, because I want to see like the clash.
Exactly, just for that aspect.
No, but I don't want to support Jeff Snyder. So I'm sort of. But no, okay, so no, Rich, you reminded me of like on Collider Live. It's her versus Brett Sheridan. It's an Iron Man match, but the first one to get a question right just wins it. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, I don't know.
I love what I just quickly took a look at my notes, and I'm not going to jump ahead, but for the next match, my only comments are Jesus fucking Christ, and I apologize.
Hey, first thing allowed on the show. And speaking of, let's transition to the next match, because you guys can see, I'll show you my notes because they're very limited. The only thing I have for this match is Ready to Rumble. I think we found the next Remember the Titans.
There's so many metaphors I want to use, and they're so inappropriate. I won't say them.
Do it.
Do it for revenge.
Come on, Richard. You can do it.
Unlimited power. So I skipped the entire pre-interview. I skipped the entire post-interview. I want to like the Five Club so much. I think Emma is a really cool chick, but I can't. I don't know. Something is so rotten for me in that faction. Those people.
I like all of them individually.
Exactly.
Them together.
I love all of them individually. I'm eating at the same time. I'm sorry.
It's like it just seems holier than thou. The whole thing.
Okay, that's just Emma. On their own, Rachel Clark and Andreyko are amazing people. And they have these great personalities. It's when Emma's there that they get to push the holier than thou aspect of their relationship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree. It's definitely and I like Emma on her own also.
Yeah, and when she's competing in Inner Geekdom or in the Manager Bowl, she's like, without her faction, I feel like she's the coolest. I totally want to support her.
I have to disagree there slightly. I don't like her in the Schmoedown at all, but when I see her online with like Hyper RPG, even just following her Instagram, I like that personality.
I even like her on Jedi Council occasion. I think that she's fine.
Yeah. I think in the Schmoedown, she has a tweener character, but she keeps pushing I am a face when she's really not.
She's not at all.
If she embraced even the heel watch factor of it, I think she'd be a lot more enjoyable rather than just constantly
I don't know.
"Oh, I'm not this," and you're an asshole for thinking that.
If she went
can't
heel,
enjoy her very much.
Yeah.
if she went heel, she could be golden. Could be. I don't know if it would be, but could be.
Yeah,
if she went
that
heel,
could save her.
she would not be much different than she is now because she just drives me crazy.
Yeah, but that's why.
just-
Then I would love hating her.
Oh no,
It's a slight
I
difference.
feel like I would feel good about like I'm sorry, I don't hate her. I would feel good about like having this entertainment side of the hate. You mean like for faces and heels? I feel like I'm justified to not like her at all. Because right now I feel guilty.
She would be the type to get like the full black emo goth. Like setup where she didn't go heel, she just let out her inner dark side.
Yeah.
Just like
Right.
thick eyeliner,
Well, actually,
long black hair, just full emo.
like to me, it's not even about that. Like for me, when I was thinking about this earlier, like I was thinking about okay, what?
What? The evidence bring me to life. Wait,
Oh my god.
she'd be perfect.
Oh man, we're off the rails.
Anyway.
Do it.
Anyway.
Bring us back.
I'm desperately trying. Like for me, I was thinking about earlier, like I am clearly not a Tom Dagnino / Finstock fan. I said this from the beginning. But at the same time, don't clap too much. Don't clap. At the same time, like to me, I feel like Tom's a better manager because like when he speaks for his faction or for his competitors, he's probably half drunk most of the time. But
he has the Elliot Dewberry approach to it.
Vagrant power.
But like he usually says something that's at least like somewhat coherent and funny and like something you can at least like chuckle at.
Mhm.
But when Emma talks for her competitors, she sounds so over the top and so pious and so like pretentious. Exactly. Like she's like
live show, biggest platform any competitor could get, and it's just her. Clark and Rachel are just
like
gone.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime they interview, she's always like the first one to talk, and she's always like, well, I think we all know that they are great competitors, but, and it just drives me crazy.
And that's why you skip over her every single week.
It's like, oh my gosh. Like, it's like Richard said, it feels pretentious. Like, it's not heel necessarily. Like, heel I can handle, but like, just like that she's trying to sound like she's like the goody faction manager. Like, it just drives me nuts.
It does. And I kind of feel bad for trashing them because I don't want to, but I can't help it.
I mean, and you know the worst part is she might become commissioner after this.
Oh, that would be awful. No, she won't. She won't.
Yeah,
she
she won't because Christian was a former singles title holder.
I think Christian's going to wipe the floor unless there's something.
That is one of the few teams who was disbanded.
Right.
And you know what? What was the other one?
I'm convinced that if Christian would win again, like if he had the 5-pointer for the win and he knew the answer, he was going to go, damn it, Jerry Goldsmith, and you're a winner. He doesn't want to win, but he plays the game and he would never lose on purpose.
Right.
But it's just this realization of the people we have playing a former singles champion to people who were disbanded from their teams. Wait,
is there 3 of them or is there someone else going to be in that one? There's Christian, Emma,
Tom Dagnino,
and Thad.
Kalinowski?
Thad.
No, Thad.
Okay.
Remember, because
I think Christian could actually beat all of their scores. Maybe I think Christian might just beat everyone combined. Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, I feel like Thad is a wild card because I feel like when he did play, his team was like,
Melissa,
I don't know.
His team was disbanded. They were so bad. They had an elimination match. Same goes for Emma and the Night Sisters.
But okay, I would not compare the Night Sisters to that. But like, I don't know. I feel like Thad might have like a better movie knowledge than like we are aware of. He's just been away from the game for so long.
Doggy.
I think he's really like the only wild card. I think Tom and Emma are just gonna be there, and they're gonna get.
Do we think there's any chance Do you think there's any chance that somebody's else is gonna join up?
Okay, so again, I still hold true to the theory that I think Dan's gonna play, though she said he wasn't, or else my trade to Danny in our fantasy league is no good. I was like, hey man, I know you like don't care anymore. You want to trade Thad for Brienne? Sure, why not?
Nice. So
one of my greatest fantasy trades was top 10 for Ben Bateman, and that was exactly when top 10 ceased to be. And Ben went on his roll. The best trade.
That was
Went on his roll. You mean he had 3 wins?
I miss Matt Nost. He hasn't been around in a while.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I miss Nost too.
Yeah.
I think they're. Sorry.
I mean, you guys weren't around when Call to Action first drafted our fantasy leagues. My 2 teams were Shy Wolves in top 10.
Oh.
And my single competitors are not Clark Wolf, Rachel Cushing, and John Roca. So I was smoking the league. I felt bad about it, but it didn't matter because I was winning.
There you go.
I took Mark Ellis because I knew that this year was going to be his comeback year, and
you knew it. You just knew deep down.
I just knew it. I had faith in him.
He lost to Jeff Snyder, who got KO'd.
Snyder is one of the worst loser. Like he doesn't know how to lose at all.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed that.
That's why I like him, because I feel like I relate to him so much. I get so competitive, and I'm the worst loser. I'm the worst loser, and when I see him losing and he loses his shit, I'm like, yeah, I relate, bro.
Do you see film Twitter? Okay, I posted this in Movie Talk After Dark. Join it. It was like, I think it's maybe just Movie Talk regular. I don't know, but it's like, here's all the overrated movies this year, and it's filled with like these diverse casts and these auteur directors and amazing things. And someone's like, what movies do you like? Green Book. Oh my god. Jeff Snyder is a walking meme, and he doesn't even know it.
I don't care. I'll always like him.
So, do we want to move on to the next match?
Let's do.
Let's do it.
Another one which I didn't care about. Merle versus Andraco.
I like the outcome of that one.
No, I didn't. Actually, I did, because I don't want Andraco to be Clark too. Oh, that would have been a torture to watch. Plus, she would have actually she would have. Never mind. But I don't like Andraco losing.
I can't.
What are we talking about again?
Merle versus
Andraco. Merle. Okay. And I'm trying to recall moments from that match also. I just
don't remember anything from that match. To be honest, I remember the ending.
Actually,
yeah.
Really quick, like jump back, because I know we talked about it briefly before the break.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one time the wheel wasn't in favor of Clark, and she still won because she won opponent's choice. And Draco's like, I know this person I've been studying with for months. What's her weakness? Oh yeah, musicals. Get 5 out of 8.
I feel like those musical questions were like unusual. I don't want to say they were easy, but they were easier than some of the other musical questions that have been on there. And I was kind of surprised because I felt like musicals were going to be really deep cut, because I feel like musicals have been like slowly getting harder and harder. So I was surprised. I was surprised that it was as easy as they were.
Well, I don't think musical has been picked outside of bringing it on a couple of times. Maybe
not at all.
Well, I just mean like this. I just mean like over like the past year. I don't mean like in the tournament. I just mean like since like this season.
Right. Well,
I can't remember who the last person to get it was, but like I know there was like a Save the Last Dance question that I thought was like pretty easy, but the rest were like somewhat like.
I think it was
like P.T. Barnum's wife in The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I think it was Take the Cannoli in their first match, if I remember correctly. Then I know they got dance movies in another one, but
so
To
Maybe
be
I was thinking
fair,
dance movies.
musicals were big in the 50s and 60s, which most competitors aren't strong at. So if there's a hard musical question, it's probably just because of when the movie came out, and that's hard to avoid.
So here's a musical question. What was Hugh Jackman's prison number in Les Miserables?
4601.
Oh, you said it wrong. You gotta sing
why
it.
Was he arrested?
601!
Yes.
Why was he arrested?
Here's a musical question. Who is the stupidest character in Les Miserables?
Dale the Dude. Wait.
What?
Just answer not Dale the Dude, because stupid and Dale the Dude go together in every one of your sentences.
Who is the stupidest character? You mean Russell Crowe?
Marius.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh.
Who?
I gotta say,
oh my gosh, I hate him.
Redmayne.
I'm like, you're an idiot.
I love Eddie Redmayne.
Oh.
God damn, does he sound like Kermit when he sings?
That's so true.
And my daughter
I wasn't
always
saying
hates me
that.
for
I
this.
was just I was just saying because he picks the wrong girl, and I'm just like, I will never forgive him for that.
Well, he picks the
you
one.
can't go around it. That story is fixed.
Oh, you're the love of my life forever. Hey, the best friend who's always treated me great. You don't matter. Oh, you're dead.
Like, I have a soft spot for that because
whatever reason.
I like sang that song in like chorus, like recitals on my own. So like, I have a soft spot for her, but like, you're an idiot.
All right, so
not easy.
Roe versus Andrick.
We gotta get back on Schmoedown.
Does the match matter? I'm gonna take that as a no.
No. I think our Les Miserables talk is actually more important than the match, to be honest.
Yeah,
it is.
I agree.
I mean, hey, called action musical. We get.
By the way, I have to say this because I'm so happy. I'm gonna see Hugh Jackman's show live in London in the summer.
Nice. No.
No. No.
Just,
oh my God.
That's the first encore number. It's just no.
No, Richard, when you go, just make sure you take a video of him singing Les Mis. Instead of like singing the lyrics, just scream 24601 the entire like 5-minute song. You can post it to the page, and we'll be losing their minds. And then Ben and Drew will use it as our next entrance music.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. I already have like my idea of what character I could be when I enter this showdown. But I watched the epic rap battles of history, like directors little ensemble yesterday. I want to do that so badly.
Nice.
Oh, it's like, and what's his name? Tarantino and Kubrick rapping are just like perfect.
I feel like we have to get back to the matches.
Again, does Murrow versus Andreyko matter? Do any of us care about it?
The only thing I have from this match is after the match. I mean, I hate to keep circling back to this, but after the match, we had another classic Emma interview where she's like, "Listen, we all know that Dan Murrow is one of the greatest to play the game, so there's no reason to hang your head on an incredible match against an incredible person. And we're all winners here. We're all winners." Oh my God. I am just like so done with her. I really, really, really want the Shire Wolves to lose so that we do not get another one of her speeches about how great everybody is and how they're all winners.
I'd much rather hear Tom Dagnino. Tom Dagnino ranting.
I would rather Tom Dagnino talk about the fireplaces.
It burns down the Titanic.
Burning down houses.
No, it's on the iceberg.
I want to combine to the fireplace that burns down the Titanic. Dagnino is perfect for them, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yes.
He worked so well with them.
I'm still salty over the drunk walk along.
I'm not. I'm honestly not.
I gotta tell you, Richard and I were talking about that. Like, the fact that he did that made it out better because for the first watch along, it's always better when it's Andrew and Ben. They had that camaraderie and they're able to bounce things off each other so much better without a third party in a way. Because when they have it's like when they have AMA, they're the guest at AMA. I love it, but it's not quite the same as when it's just the two of them.
100%.
I don't know. The best AMA of all time, like unequivocally, is the Warrior one, and that has 2 guests on it. So,
well, that's a different story when you're talking about the actual creators of the movie, and there's a little bit of a different hang. But when you're talking about like going over like a movie like The Edge,
yes, I was just about to say,
or The Patriot, damn him, damn that Matt.
Get out of my head.
Hey, it's those 2 assholes, man. You guys are just together, you know. That's the most simple to use. Oh, no alcohol.
And this is why Christian doesn't put us on their polls, by the way. This is why Christian doesn't put us on the after show polls.
Hey, every week we're gonna get canceled. Why not this week?
Yeah.
Do we care about Merle and Draco? Fuck no. That's sorry, Christian.
No. Here's what I want. After the Commissioner's Bowl, I want Emma to come back and say, you know what? I competed against the person who created the game and the current commissioner. So really, there's no losers here. And I want like Dagnino to come in and be like, bottom line,
you're
a loser.
It'll be the one time I enjoy him.
That will be like my favorite to be moment. Number
That'll
2
be a clip
moment. The first one would be
around.
Ben getting the 24601. This would be my second favorite moment ever.
Dude, still, my favorite moment ever is Andrew beating Merle and him just jumping on the desk, because I would do the exact
He
same.
pulled the cruise.
I don't know what is better for me, when he jumps on the desk or when he just keeps saying, "Why are you so quiet?"
Yeah.
Like,
Why you so damn quiet?
Why are you so damn quiet?
So did you,
The moment
so
I love, my favorite moment of that match was when I think the moment you knew he was going to win. He looks at the crowd and just, stop blue, it's cerulean, motherfuckers.
Oh,
oh, that was the best. I love that. I wanted a shirt from that. Like, I'm like, someone make a shirt.
Hey, just you go to Janine's Patreon. Like, hey, can you make a shirt for me? I just need the one. I'll be set. It'll be like Champs Lunch. Just meme the hell out of it until finally someone just will do it.
Yeah,
I loved watching-
like Champs Lunch, which should be like featuring Drew, but it's not.
It should be. I love watching that match and watching Christian like react the whole time. You can see him like physically getting uncomfortable.
Oh
like,
no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes.
I
can't remember if it was after his like 2-point question or what, but like you look and Christian's just like, I can't believe this.
He
is
literally
happening.
put his hands in his he literally had his like this for a bit. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, wow.
Like he was trying to rub his eyes, like he was trying to rub it out of his like memory or something.
Right. And it was like
Yeah.
this third, when he got to the second question, he legitimately went like this, like as if he's like, I'm so uncomfortable, I'm trying to will this match to change. And it couldn't.
I know.
Again, the best, like I think one of the best moments of the Schmodown comes from Facebook, where it's at the third live event in California, where it's like Champs Lunch, and Andrew's face is just stuffed with cookies, and Viviana's like, "Here you go."
I thought you were gonna talk about when Christian zones out when someone else is explaining.
The Christian stare. Oh,
Okay.
man.
Next.
So-
The last match.
Oh my God, we're almost over. Okay,
I just
Clark
watched.
versus Irwin. I wouldn't call it match of the year. Far from it. But this is one of the most exciting moments of the Schmodown for me personally, because like we know for many months, I do not like Emma. The fact that she's not.
That was so cathartic. The end.
Oh no! It's like because I saw the question, I knew it. It's like, oh yeah, it's Southside with you. It's like Southside with Liam. It's like, wait.
Yeah.
We're terrible people.
I was listening to it on my drive home, and so I was like so when she answered it, and he said, "And your winner," and like there was like this pause, this really long pause, and like in my mind, I'm going, "Are they going to give it to her?" Like there was like a small part of me that thought,
she got it.
"I think they're going to give it to her," and like I was kind of like, it was actually a legitimate like edge of my seat moment, because I was just like, are they gonna like give her the benefit of the doubt? And so like when they said his name, I was genuinely like, I was happy, but I was surprised, because I was kind of half expecting them to give her the
so was Ethan. So was Ethan. You can tell Ethan was he wasn't. I think he felt like she deserved it, definitely.
Well, it's like you saw both of their eyes, just like, what's gonna happen? I don't know.
But
I think if Clark would have caught herself and said it like right away, I think they would have given it to her. And I think she probably knew it right away too, but she just didn't vocalize it.
She had some repeats. She could have used them. Could have pulled the Bateman.
She answered right away. If she had just pulled an Emma Fife, where she just keeps repeating the answer until it's right.
Right.
South side with me. I mean, south side with you. Yeah.
North side, south side.
For Giancarlo Stanton.
Yes. Oh.
I get all deep, man.
That's just sad.
I think the rules coverage was after that, though, so maybe it would have not been cleared since it was more understandable. Let me pull up the stats for the match really quick. Clark had a 68% accuracy. Well, 68% accuracy. Well, Ethan had a 74. It was 6 each, 5 and 6, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 7. Hello, ASL. So Wolf killed it in the speed round. Like she did.
That's an Irwin weakness there.
I think she's got Thriller for her wheel, right?
I can't remember now.
No, she got animated, didn't she?
She did get animated, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
This just goes to show when the wheel's not in her favor, it sort of sucks.
I mean, she still did well, but it's just like she's more human when it's like not.
She's definitely every beatable.
Time.
Well, it's like unless I'm mistaken, isn't it 6 questions in the second round after that? So she went 5 for 12, and he went 6 for 12 with Drew Barrymore. And I will fully admit, I didn't get a single question right in Drew Barrymore. So good on him for knowing things. I'm still surprised watching back that first match that I knew what New York Minute even was, let alone it started the Olsen twins.
Yeah, I was so sure Drew Barrymore's first role was E.T. That would have been my guess.
Well, it's a 1980.
I mean,
like, wait, it wasn't E.T.?
I feel like his Drew Barrymore questions were they were pretty tough, like Drew Barrymore questions. Like, yeah.
And I knew it wasn't E.T. because I know E.T. was not in 1980. That's how
1982.
Right. 1982.
Same month as The Thing, which is why it bombed both critically and commercially.
I know, because it was the #1 movie the day I was born.
Oh, there you go.
Mine was The Phantom Menace.
I feel like I win. I feel like I win this little battle.
I don't know. Paul, back me up here. Phantom Menace, one of the greatest films of all time.
One of the greatest films in the history of it. I stood in line and slept over for tickets for The Phantom Menace.
It's one of the 10 best Star Wars movies, man. Right up there.
Right up there.
And were you in the camp that this is great? This movie is great. And when you came out of it, you was like, I want to see it again. This is great.
I saw it like 5 times.
I don't know. Considering I couldn't say any words for 2 years, I don't think I had a thought in the film just yet.
I saw it 5 times in the theater, and I was like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. I kind of love it.
You're like that Jar Jar, though. He really saves this movie.
What are you talking about? Darth Jar Jar. That's
greatest film character of all time.
Of all time. I'm trying to look up what mine was now. I'm going to date myself and see what the #1 movie was on my birthday.
Was it Citizen Kane?
I'm not quite Roca. Let's see.
Is there anything, like, again, I feel like I've just blown myself with bad choice of words. With Who's the Boss and Clark and Ben and Dan and Stacy. Because, like, I'm really for it for these heels. After them, just like, whatever. Okay, so just while Paul does a little research, Melissa, what? Because you're like keep down because you're so down on Jay. What did you feel of that credit scene where it's him showing Erwin like, here's what you can win. I borrowed it. What do you think? Do you remember that at all?
No.
Never mind then. I will take the time though to, assuming it's all like there's nothing going on here, to praise Christian just putting in scenes for fun about how Lon teaching Elliot and
I liked Lon and Elliot.
oh no, and then the Bibiani bit afterwards just killed me. Like I'm working on a Schmoedown.
Lon and Elliot was great.
I really hope they can do more things like that because as someone who prefers a Schmoedown more for its theatric rather than the actual competition, bits like that makes it feel like professional wrestling, and I love that. Where it's just taking time to be like,
me too.
Yeah, it's like here's just the characters being the characters, and Elliot's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm not drunk enough for this.
Question.
What?
How long until Jay breaks character? And like by breaks character, I mean goes back to the Jay that we all know and you guys love, and I don't.
So whenever
is it
Erwin
spectacular?
Loses, if Erwin loses, he will.
Yeah, I agree.
Till then,
after Erwin loses, he's gonna ride the coattails.
If Erwin wins, does Jay
glorious
get the belt? Does Jay get the belt and like hold the belt like as if it's his own? That's the question.
I think so. I definitely think so.
Like, I want this. Yes, it's my baby.
All right, so you ready to age me? I figured it out.
Yes.
Okay, so there's two things I have to say. The movie that was actually number one on my birthday was Silver Streak.
Wait,
I haven't seen it.
Is that 1978?
That's 1976.
Oh!
Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. But the funny aspect was 2 days after my birthday, there was a new number one film. A little film called... Wait.
Taxi Driver.
No, go ahead.
A Star is Born.
Oh! I was not going to guess that.
Richard is so happy.
Even if it's not the same version.
Okay, wait.
Exactly.
Now we have to really test here. What album did Queen release in 1976?
A Day at the Races.
There you go, man. It was born. You were ready.
You're ready to go.
Mine was
actually
Batman.
89?
Nice.
Y'all had good movies, and I just got Phantom Menace.
You got Darth Maul. Come on.
Yeah, and I have Jar Jar and Baby.
I feel so incredibly old because I remember when the Phantom Menace came out.
Yep.
And you were born on that day.
Everyone else does. I'm the child here.
Oh.
I think I was on my local news report for having slept over to get tickets to that.
Okay, wait, Melissa, you want to feel old? So I spent I had my grandpa's birthday last weekend, and there was I think not my nephew, like my cousin's son, whatever that is to me.
Second cousin.
Sure, yeah. He was I was the only person he was attracted to outside of his family because I had my phone out. Only reason. You want to feel old. These kids nowadays like people for their phones. That's it.
Man.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? I asked my nephew, who is 3, if he liked trains, and he said 100. I'm like,
wait, as in like the 100 emoji, or just him just be like 100?
Like, no, he said it like a 100 emoji. That's like how he said it. I was like, what?
Oh, I don't know 14-year-old white girls who talk like that. Oh my god.
I can go ask my 14-year-old white girl out in the living room.
Hey, honey, did you give it 100? Dad, don't do that.
Nah.
So, Erwin and
I think we've said everything. I think at this
We can
point,
look
the way our
forward.
recording works out, we're actually coming up on a 2-hour limit, which means after this, footage may be deleted.
The bonus alternate scenes that we don't hear.
Yeah. We had a very long recording one week, and the first 10 minutes were just gone.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
James,
So let's
listen,
just cut
Do you want
things
to do a
off
quick
here.
preview?
if you don't wrap this up,
We're gonna die.
you're all gonna die.
You're all
It's
gonna
like,
die.
oh, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Hello? Yes, this is Jaden.
Steven, listen.
Machine gun preacher. You're right, babe. You're right. Sorry, babe.
I can just stick to my two half decent but still terrible impressions: Palpatine and Nick Cage. Oh my god!
All
I just
right.
wanna say
Okay.
Oh,
one last look at you.
Okay.
Okay.
I love. They could just do it. I think I want them to break into their impressions during the Schmoedown at some point, just to throw things off.
Well, no. See, all you
Start
need to do,
answering.
you need to have one match where Ben comes in acting like Andrew, and Andrew comes in acting like Ben, and then it's like, what do you guys do this week? Oh, we just did Face Off. Oh no,
Nice.
it's Ben acting like Andrew, acting like Ben.
Wow, that would be perfect.
Good
Oh.
looking.
And then they come in from opposite side of the stage and start shooting their guns and start diving. Someone just throws out like a plastic swan. or
And then,
plastic
and
dog.
then Drew goes like,
Oh no,
Ben's
no,
got the sword cane.
no.
yeah, the Wrangler.
Andrew needs to go up to the camera and be like, I could eat a peach for hours. Oh my god. Hey, ball's in our court now. No, if I want, they have to spit action
Woo-wee, you're
adventure.
good looking.
Woo-wee, you're good looking. No, it's that moment in the prison where he's just like, yeah. I need Ben to do that. Oh my god.
Or the the chorus girls.
Oh, yeah.
He just walked behind Christian.
Just grab-
oh my god!
And on that note, we will end things for this week. Everyone, plug your social media. Tell people where they can find you.
We need an order. All right, I'll go first.
There you go.
Richard Eric Jarvie on Instagram and Facebook. And tune in on Thursday, Revenge of the Sith, AMA. I will be calling in. It will be great.
Hooah.
I guess I'll go next. Okay. At Paul DeMuzio at Twitter and Paul DeMuzio on Facebook. And I will be in the chat of Revenge of the Sith. And I'll be busted on Jarvie the whole time, probably.
I would expect nothing less.
I don't want anyone to find me, but if you do, I am on Facebook in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown and the Action Army groups.
Oh boy, here we go. So you can find me on Twitter at Temecula Film Guy. That is at TEMECULA Film Guy. You can find me on Instagram at James_Spence99 because, as we all know, I am the baby here. You can also find Andrew and Ben on Twitter at Andrew Guy and at Ben Bateman Media. You can find our show at Called Action Pod. You can find their show at
Team Action
Action
Show.
Army Show. Right? No.
Team Action Show.
At Team Action Show, yes. Actually, I don't forget what our actual Twitter handle is.
And
Whatever,
the
we're
Action
Called
Guys
Action.
on
Find us.
Collider podcast.
Yes.
Yes, the Action Guys and Collider podcast.
Oh, a new episode dropped. I haven't seen it yet.
It's
Neither
good.
have I. That's convenient. Like I said, you find AMA on Thursday, and Action Guys drops on Wednesday, I believe. Correct?
Fridays.
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 I am a fake fan. I am sorry. You can also find them on Instagram. I think they're at the same @, whatever. Yeah. I'm not sure when our next episode will come out, but sorry for the hiatus. But I will be sure that we put out a very big and very good episode for Spectacular.
Yes.
On that notes, we will.
Well, Merry Christmas if we don't see you before that. Bye.
Yeah. And Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Nick Cage month. Oh. Peace out.